All right, so I want to give some context to this because I don't want to just go off and say Blizzard is a bunch of woke jerks that don't actually care about the player base, even though I think what we're getting to is that, but I'll get there. Hold on. So essentially, what I posted on the forums, since they deleted the topic after several days, after it was getting lots of views and a lot of comments, I just posted the thing because I was frustrated, right? And what I posted was essentially just a rundown because I saw the article on Wowhead that talked about Bobby Kotick, or was it Bobby Kotick? I don't know. Whoever the president currently is of Activision Blizzard, saying he's going to take a lower salary and not even any bonuses. He's going to have the minimum salary, $60-some thousand. Whatever. Cool. Way to go. I don't really care. I'm pretty sure you made enough money that you'll be fine until the next paycheck that you can give yourself. What really irritated me is that once again, instead of fixing the issues with the game, they're talking about getting rid of people and doing more diversity hiring. That doesn't fix the game. So pretty much I laid out all my grievances with the game as it is. And I asked the question, can World of Warcraft recover after this? And after this we get 915, which is, it's over a year, I think, after the expansion release. I guess it's close to a year after the expansion's released. We're finally getting a 0.5 patch after the initial 1 patch, which if you look at, where we were in every other expansion, we were at least patch 2 in every other expansion. In Warlords of Draenor, of course, 2 was the final patch for that expansion, but we're looking at patch 1.5, and there's no content really. They're just bringing back old stuff from Legion, here, do the Mage Tower, I guess. And here's some quality of life things that really should have been in the game from the beginning that everybody been asking for. I understand Blizzard kind of does it all the time now because that's what they do. Because you think you want X, but you don't really want X, right? No, these guys suck. And what my topic and what my post wasn't just about diversity hiring. That was part of it. What I was saying was that they put out this patch that's okay, I guess, but it's 6 months or so after the last content patch, and what's there? Not much of anything. And a lot of the stuff that's in there is stuff that's not even in the patch notes. That's stuff like, we removed pictures of women. We changed them with pictures of fruit. We're removing references to orcs being called greenskins. We're removing, developers' names in these very, very tiny spots of the game in freaking Burning Crusade content that you wouldn't see unless you were a demon hunter or a warlock. Who cares? Who freaking cares? Removing the references to Ace Ventura, who's been waiting in the wings for 27 years to be like, oh, you know what? I really am upset about this Ace Ventura reference about a thing that's not really a thing. If anybody thinks that Ace Ventura is transphobic, it's not. The guy in the movie wasn't trans. It was just a person. He was literally pretending to be a woman. He assumed someone's identity to get revenge on the quarterback of the Miami Dolphins. That's not a trans thing. It's not. It's just not. It's just a guy pretending so that he could get close to a guy and steal a dolphin. It's a ridiculous plot. Let's be honest. So I don't know. I don't know why those things all take precedence. All of those things are taking precedence over actual content, over actually making the game good. Those things are more important. And you have people saying, oh, well, these guys can't make a decent game. These people can't make a decent game while they're being sexually harassed. Okay, if that's the case, why did it happen all the way through the first 10 years or so of the game? Why were they able to do it? why was the game fine then? When the people that were actually, the majority of the people like Alex Afrasiabi, all these people that were there, why, when they were still there, were they still able to make a decent game? Why is it only years after they're gone? If I had to guess, I would say the game sucks, and this is an excuse for why the game sucks. That would be my gut feeling on this, because you know what? The game didn't just start sucking out of nowhere because sexual harassment just started at that company. It's been going on for a long time. Let's be real about it. It's been going on there for a long time. And it's not right, obviously. I'm not saying it is. But the people that work there now, they don't know how to make a decent game. It doesn't matter what their reasoning is. They suck at their jobs, and they don't deserve to be there because they can't make a decent game. I don't care about any of this other stuff because it doesn't matter. They suck at their job. They shouldn't work there. Or they shouldn't be on the game. Or just shut the game down and put them all out of the job. Honestly, I'm done with it, to be honest, so I don't care. At this point, it's like the only diversity they care about is this real life diversity of people with different ethnicities, orientations, races, genders, creeds. I don't think they actually even care about creeds, to be honest. I think it's just the other four. That's all they really care about. They don't care about what's actually in the game. They don't care about the diversity of good ideas in the game. They care about those things. And I had a person on here, a few of them respond to this comment. And now we're finally getting into the comments, like, I don't know, 7 minutes into my video. The comment they made was that, well, me saying that I care more about the actual talent and the skill of the people making the game than I do about the diversity of the people who made it. Right? That's what I care about. And I'll give you an example of why diversity doesn't matter. Look at Final Fantasy XIV. You don't look at that game's credits and see a bunch of diversity. If you go and look at their credits right now, aside from if you look at the localization teams, which are all going to be largely representative of the country in which they are in, which they're based in, you can look at all the names on there and you can get a pretty good idea of what their ethnicity and their background is. You're not going to be able to tell, orientation, whether they're trans or not. As far as ethnic racial diversity goes, you don't see it in a game like Final Fantasy XIV. You don't see it in a lot of games. And I can tell you why I think that is. And I think that's because of the culture war that's been going on for the past, 4 or 5 years in this country. Maybe even longer, maybe at this point. I think it might have been going on for maybe like 8 to 12 years. People are more concerned about race and like orientation and all these things that they're not supposed to matter. Like, they're really not. They're supposed to be things that we all kind of just look at and accept. That's all you're supposed to do, is just accept it. You don't have to like make your entire identity based around these things. It's just a part of who you are. It's not supposed to be the entire picture of who you are, which is the opposite of what this diversity stuff is trying to say. It's trying to say that's the most important thing about you, that I should be able to look at you and have an idea about what your thoughts are. And that seems kind of counterproductive to me. So when I see this person said it's a racist dog whistle. Of course, no one can have talent, right? Pathetic OP. So I responded with, which I'm not even sure what he's really trying to say with this. I mean, I'm guessing he was trolling because literally he's a troll. Like, that's the character's race. So my response was, no, I mean, a racist dog whistle is calling everyone and everything racist because you expect that all white, black, Asian, Hispanic, straight, gay, lesbian, etc. people to think and act the same as the rest of their group, which I think that's spot on the money in my opinion. I think it is ignorant to think that everybody just acts the same based on, what group they're in. I think everybody's probably, got their own independent ideas, thoughts, and beliefs. Not, everybody has to be the same. I think that's real diversity. I think that's real diversity of thought, and that's more important. But it says it's just ignorant to believe that diversity is the key to success when actual talent and skill are. And I 100% believe that. I think it's far more important for you to have talent and skill to do a job, not, well, I am X race or X orientation, therefore I'm good at whatever. Like, that's not how things work. Like, you are just naturally good at certain things just because of your race. Sorry, it's just not the way it works. It's kind of like, all right, and I said it's like in sports when you pick the fastest and the strongest people for your team. You don't pick, like, if you have a basketball team, you're not going to pick the shortest, slowest person for your team. Like, you're going to pick the fastest, tallest person you can find who's able to shoot a ball correctly and make points. You don't pick the worst players. Of course, like I say at the bottom here, you shouldn't pick the people who are most offended by everything to write a story. Because when you're writing a story, you're not writing a story for you. You don't write a story for you who's offended by things. You write a story for everybody. And sure, everybody can be offended. Some people will be, some people won't. But you just write a story. And these people are saying, like, well, diversity, that was the other thing. The person said that diversity is really important to writing stories. And I was like, why? I mean, does Stephen King write the same kind of books as J.R.R. Tolkien? Like, you're not going to... You can have people of the same race and the same rough background who can write stories about completely different things. Some of them might be good, some might be bad. I mean, obviously, I think it's more about where you're from, environment-wise. If you're writing a certain story to connect with people from the same background as you, I think that's more important. But the thing is, when you're writing a fantasy story about races like orcs, trolls, elves, goblins, freaking demons, everything, these aren't real things. These aren't real things that everyone's going to have a background in that matter for who writes it. It just doesn't. There's some merit, I think, in my opinion, that yes, you could have, it would be good to have people of different orientations, perhaps, to write characters of a particular orientation. I think that's good, but I don't think you need to be gay to write a gay character. I think if you have gay friends, gay people in your lives, you have experience with that community of people. And you should be able to write a character and give them the appropriate depth and respect, not just their entire character is based on this, unless that's the way you think about the world, which seems like a lot of these people do think that way. Now, of course, my account was silenced because, it said trolling. I'm not even sure. I don't know what their definition is. I couldn't find it. But I don't think anything I said was trolling. I think that was an actual opinion, which is not trolling. What they're essentially silencing me for is for wrongthink. That's literally what they're doing. If they were silencing me for any other reason, they could probably quote what I said. That was trolling. Here, they don't quote anything. They show the whole thing, which I don't think anything I said there was particularly offensive. I think what I said was just an opinion. Take it or leave it. So they don't like the opinion, so they're censoring me for it. And this is exactly what you're going to find. There's plenty of other topics that have been removed, and there's plenty of ones that have not yet. Still, I mean, pretty much anytime you mention the one writer for their book, which who is a horrible person, honestly, just a horrible person, who has said much worse things they just remove those posts immediately because they don't want anyone to bring shame to their author, I guess, which is pathetic and sad. But I mean, I've canceled my sub to World of Warcraft because I can't support a game anymore like this with people like this. They don't have the right mentality to make a game. They're not making a game for the players anymore. They're making a game for themselves to score points with their woke friends, I guess. That's all there is to it, and it's not fun. It's not entertaining. They take away all the good stuff and they go, we'll just sanitize everything and make it completely along with my ideology, which is just insane. It's a fantasy game about orcs and humans and all the other made up races, centaurs. It borrows from every culture. Literally borrows from every culture, and it's a perfect example of how multiple cultures can come together and make something really cool and really unique. It all blend together. I mean, Mists of Pandaria stuff, the whole Asian motif coming together with the Western European rest of Azeroth, like the humans, and then the orcs, which have I wouldn't say like I guess you could say maybe like no, they're not even an African. I don't even know what the orcs are. They're orcs. I don't know, but like the different areas all have just kind of their own cultural feeling to. Oh, like the Vikings from Northrend. That's like a good spot. Like the Jamaican guy, I wouldn't say Jamaican guys, but like the area, like the trolls are basically like Jamaicans essentially, but they try to, they bring in or maybe not Jamaicans, but what's the Haitians? They bring in like the voodoo and whatnot from those types of cultures. They've got stuff from all over the place, and that's not a problem. It's good. It all works together. It's good. You get to interact with those types of cultural things. It's not bad. So why do they make it like this? Why do they want to take everything apart? Why do they want to remove all of these good things from the game? I guess they don't like multiple cultures intermingling. I guess they want to separate all the cultures, right? Like, is that the goal? That seems like the goal. When you look at Final Fantasy, are they replacing scantily clad women with fruit? No. Have you seen that game? I mean, have you seen that game? There's sexually suggestive stuff all over that game. I mean, I haven't played the game much, but I just played through a story quest where, like, a guy was insinuating that he wanted to make, make this woman into a prostitute because he said that she stole from him, and I'm like, okay, like, this is insane to me. It's just ridiculous, and it's sad that these people have hijacked what was a really, really good game. They've taken it over and they've made it horrible. And I just think, you know what? The term is go woke, go broke, right? And I think that's what needs to happen with World of Warcraft. I don't think there's any saving it. I don't think there's any salvaging what's happened. I mean, it's one thing to apply something evenly across the board, for the sake of, if things are too mature, like, they put in mature language filters, cool, but you've always had the option to turn it off. And now it's just like, yeah, you know what? Instead of being able to remove the stuff from yourself and having that freedom, they've taken all that away. You're not allowed to even have freedom in the game anymore. So, yeah, I'm done with it. I don't want to bother with this anymore. But hey, maybe I'll make some other content for games. I mean, I already do, so whatever. But, maybe you guys agree with me. Maybe you don't. Maybe you think I was trolling. If you can tell me in the comments where you think I was trolling, I'd love to see. But anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something. I hope you cancel your WoW sub because that game's dying anyway. And until the next time, Try not to die.